Good evening. It's really hard to be here today. And we're just going to share a few words, and then we're going to share a poem by Laureate Cervantes. So if you see the shirt I'm wearing, it says home. And I just got it a few weeks ago when I was in El Paso. And just 2 weeks later, it's transformed into El Paso Strong. Just a few weeks ago, I was home, where my mother lives, where I grew up, in a quiet neighborhood, near a park, where I've walked most of my life, where families gather, near my high school, and not far, really, from where a gunman would unleash his terror. As a poet, I will never stop writing about this. As a historian, I will never stop trying to find a way to explain this. As an activist, I will never stop trying to work against this. As a mother, I will never stop working toward a better world for my son, doing what I can to keep him safe. As a daughter of the desert, I will never stop mourning. And that is why we live here, in the valley, to stay close to the borderlands, here, just like El Paso, like home, so my son wouldn't have to justify his existence. I wanted to keep him safe from any potential violence this administration was stoking with its hateful rhetoric, and it wasn't really until this horrific act that the word to capture what I was feeling, what I've been feeling, became clear. Betrayed. We were betrayed. We've been betrayed again and again and again, but especially by an administration that used our community to bolster themselves up, to support themselves. And everyone who supports it has betrayed us. And they have helped them to make us a target. And we can't count on them to remove it. Only we can do that as a community, coming together, supporting each other, working together. We can save ourselves.
Hello, my name is Emmy, Perez, and just to clarify, I lived in El Paso as an adult. In the first 2 days after the shooting, I tried to post something that reflected my devastation on social media, but I deleted each draft for the inadequacy of my words, stunned by it all. I finally posted a draft of this. Everyone who knows me and or my writing knows how much I love El Paso. For those I am just now meeting, I moved to El Paso 19 years ago before moving to the valley because of the beautiful stories my mother told me about her life growing up there in a section called Isleta, 2 miles from the river, where her father, whose family had lived there for hundreds of years since it was part of Mexico, met my grandmother when she immigrated as a teenager from Mata Ortiz, Chihuahua. They struggled financially, and the 9 children they had, including my mother, were often hungry, though the love and pride my mother shares about her family, the land, and her childhood community made me love deeply El Paso before I even moved there. It was why I moved there, and where I thought I would stay until my very last day. While I lived in El Paso, I met so many wonderful people, many of whom I consider my dear friends. With these words, I send everyone I know there much love. You are a big part of why I love El Paso so. You and everyone there, and in the sister cities también. I mourn for all who lost loved ones, for everyone in that Walmart, for children suddenly without their parent or parents, for people possibly harmed by the attack and now in fear of ICE. I mourn for all whose sense of home has been harmed by this violence. During my last visit to El Paso, when I was driving the border highway, I saw a family with small children holding hands after they must have run across the trickle of river, exhausted by impossible and deliberate lines on the bridges caused by this administration. They reached the border fences and waited for Border Patrol, hopeful for eventual asylum. Few who are hateful acknowledge their indigeneity, call most immigrants crossing our borders Mexican as if our culture is a dirty word. They don't know our histories or any of us. the hate that comes from their minds, hearts, and tongues, their fingers when they manifesto, tweet, and pull gun triggers. Their words and guns are pointing at our beauty. I try hard to remember that they were once beautiful too when they were born, when they were small children, beautiful as El Paso, because hate is learned. El Paso has never ceased to be beautiful because there has always been much more love in its heart. I love you all, El Paso. I recognize the inadequacy of these words, and I vow to continue to counter the harmful rhetoric and misinformation about our borderlands that contributes to hateful violence, border walls, and increased militarization.
So today we're going to share a poem by Laureate. She wrote this poem in the 80s. And after the shooting, it was echoing through my mind. And it makes me feel heartbroken that it's still relevant today. Poem for the young white man who asked me how I, an intelligent, well-read person, could believe in the war between races. In my land, there are no distinctions. The barbed wire politics of oppression have been torn down long ago. The only reminder of past battles, lost or won, is a slight rutting in the fertile fields.
In my land, people write poems about love, full of nothing but contented, childlike syllables. Everyone reads Russian short stories and weeps. There are no boundaries. There's no hunger, no complicated famine or greed.
I am not a revolutionary. I don't even like political poems. Do you think I can believe in a war between races? I can deny it. I can forget about it when I'm safe, living on my own continent of harmony and home, but I'm not there.
I believe in revolution because everywhere the crosses are burning, sharp-shooting goose-steppers round every corner. There are snipers in the schools. I know you don't believe this. You think this is nothing but faddish exaggeration, but they are not shooting at you.
I'm marked by the color of my skin. The bullets are discreet and designed to kill slowly. They are aiming at my children. These are facts. Let me show you my wounds, my stumbling mind, my excuse me tongue, and this nagging preoccupation with the feeling of not being good enough.
These bullets bury deeper than logic. Racism is not intellectual. I cannot reason these scars away.
Outside my door, there is a real enemy who hates me.
I am a poet who yearns to dance on rooftops, to whisper delicate lines about joy and the blessings of human understanding. I try. I go to my land, my tower of words, and bolt the door, but the typewriter doesn't fade out the sounds of blasting and muffled outrage. My own days bring me slaps on the face. Every day I am deluged with reminders that this is not my land and this is my land.
I do not believe in the war between races.
But in this country, there is war. Thank you.